This is gonna be take two because my camera just decided, well, phone decided to just go no. So I was talking about Wolverine in more detail, which I still going to do. So preface is Wolverine's gone over to Japan to say goodbye to an old friend he was in a war with like years and years ago, like about 80 years ago, and as you all know, Wolverine is near immortal. So goes over and this guy wants his healing factor, but you're saying no, this is a part of me. Well, he's kind of reluctant, but he doesn't want. But the guy is like pushing and pushing for it, and then he has to go and protect his granddaughter after he dies. So like from the beginning, he was in a it was a bar. There was a bar scene, and he was picked up by Yukio, which is the friend of the granddaughter, which is Mariko, who is from the comics is like was Logan's either wife or long term love interest, and she died, and I think I can't remember if Wolverine remembers that. I think he remembers that part of his life. Yeah, I think he remembers that part of his life, and it's a really big part for him. Um, and she, the redhead girl Yukio, she was just a really really good character. Like she, from the beginning, they kind of kept her powers a mystery. So she was good with the sword. You knew that. That was from the first scene, and then she said, "Oh, you said to these guys in the bar, oh, you're gonna die in about 7 days in the same truck." And Wolverine's all like, "You can see the future," and she's like, "Yeah, a bit." And then as you go through the film, it's revealed that she can see the point of people's death, which was it's just a really cool idea. And the way they revealed it, it wasn't through exposition as such, like just exposition. Like she woke up in the middle of the night. They didn't don't show these visions, but she has a vision, and then she told Wolverine that I saw you die. Um, and I think that was a really good way to portray a power rather than just going, she can do this. Look at this flashback, or flash forward, or whatever, But like for the story, it didn't have a low part for me because there was interest. I think there was layers to it. Like you had Wolverine trying to live with him killing Jean and him being immortal. Then you had the love interest between Mariko and Wolverine, but Mariko was already betrothed to another guy, which seems very basic. And then there's a friend who died, and there's this mysterious blonde lady who's apparently the Doctor, but is very very weird. And then there's so many layers to this story that it kept you interested. It wasn't thin at all. Like I couldn't remember. I can't remember a part where I thought, "Oh, just get on with it. Just get on with it." There was always parts where I either went yeah from a fight scene, and I was like, "Ah, okay." Like it kept you guessing, kept you learning more about this world. Well, this story and the characters, and I really enjoyed it. Like there is a scene for the old man's funeral, and there's this guy up on a roof, and he is a really good archer. And I thought he was going to be playing a character called Ronin, who is like a Ronin, and he's kind of like a ninja. He was based out of Japan, but he did come over to the US and help the Avengers on some occasions, I believe. But it turned out that wasn't the case at all. He was a member of the Black Clan, which helped the Ishida family, which is part of Yukio's family. Like they're based to protect them, but it was also shown that this guy did have some connections to this doctor lady who turned out to be Viper, which is she's Madam. There's several versions of her in the comics, but one of them is she's Madam Hydra. I think that's the version they were portraying because she was wearing green and the similar kind of outfit. And like she was an interesting character because like from the beginning you think this girl is a bit strange, and then she's in bed with Wolverine, and then she's done something to Wolverine, we don't know what, and then she spits acid on some guy's face, and you're like, who? Why you do, So it always had the intrigue going, and then when it moves on to the action was like awesome. There were like all the fight scenes were cool. Like even the parts where they were just kind of a bit part, like in the very first scene. Oh, by the way, sorry, I should have said this at the beginning. There's going to be so many spoilers. One of the opening scene, Wolverine just lightly just stabs. Well, through through a series of events, Wolverine then stabs an arrow into the hand of this guy, and I was like, whoa, that was awesome. Just like out of place, just boom, for not caring about it. Like, yeah, what, you know? And that there was a funeral chase scene when Wolverine noticed that the monks at the funeral were Yakuza, and they were trying to get Mariko, and she was running away. The Archer dude, who I thought was Ronin, like trying to protect her, and Wolverine is going after her like it's nobody's business. Like he's just going, but he's trying to. The way they did this is after he's had his healing taken away from him, and he's trying to deal with him not healing up at all. Like he's getting shot, he's being slowed, and they played off the whole him dealing with that crutch, shall we say, trying to get through. Not being able to heal, to just being slowed down. He's not used to it, but he still soldiered on, and he was still Wolverine. You know, it worked, and the shots helped that to be pushed along. I also liked Yukio, I believe her name is. There's a Chinese girl with red hair, and she is just like a total, just a boss. Like she, a good fighter. Yeah, a brilliant fighter, and I like her character mainly because she is a female who's just that good. Like there are times when you can have a female character who is kind of sexualized, or she's like, oh, I've taken this position because of this, or I've taken this position because of that, and it can seem forced. Like there are characters that are sexualized and it works and it just flows, but like sometimes it can be a bit much. It can be forced, and you've seen it done before. But with Yuko, she just that good. She didn't need to explain herself. She was like, yeah. And there was a scene where there's another guy, I forget his name, but he was training in this dojo, like kendo dojo, and Wolverine seems like, that guy is pretty good, and she just goes, "Zait." Yuki just is like I'm better, and then she proves that in the fight scene, and I actually end up caring for this girl. Like, please don't die, you're just too good to let go. Like, I liked it for the reason I said before. She's just that good, and there was no force to it. There was no shoving in your face. It was just, she had her own style. She was unique, and she didn't really need to just barge in unnecessarily, you know. And also for a heavy action film, they had humor well done. It was a lot of, I'd say, contrasting humor. Like, for example, Wolverine and Mariko end up trying to find somewhere to hide, and they end up going to this love hotel. Now, it's a hotel for couples. Yeah, not a nice hotel. It's a very awkward hotel, very sexualized hotel. So they had to find a room, and they couldn't find a room to get like on the same floor, so they had to share a room. And the lady at the counter goes, "Do you want the dungeon, the nurse's office, or the spaceship?" And that they went with the spaceship. And it was just a funny scene, like amidst this kind of hardened film. There was this there's like, there are parts where it was just lighter, and it helped. Those helped the jokes come across more, rather than just going da 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 da, joke punchline, joke punchline, joke punchline, to get humor out of it. So, like, I enjoyed, like I said, this film all the way through was good, and the conclusion was pretty amazing, because the main villain in this is the Silver Samurai, and he wasn't really shown to like the third act, and you see him, and he looks like a mech, and I'm like, wait, the Silver Samurai wasn't a mech. He's a dude in a suit with a magical sword, and I was like, okay, and then a fight scene goes on between Wolverine and the mech, and then Wolverine decapitates the mech. He gets thrown out this window, and he's had his claws cut off by the samurai, who had adamantium sword and heated it up and just sliced through it. And also the little thing was, when they took off the claws, they had they made sure that they had the detail of the bone still inside of the adamantium, which I thought was a very nice touch, like just to reinforce, like, oh yeah, his bones are coated in the metal. And you find out it's the guy who died, something Yoshida, and you're like, wait, oh, I like how they did that, because like you're thinking that guy's dead, and he is left everything to his granddaughter, but he's alive. He's still trying to get Wolverine's healing powers, and there is a lot to that reveal. And you're like, okay, that this is well done. It didn't feel it kind of hit you out of nowhere, but I thought I kind of saw it coming ish, but it wasn't like it wasn't telegraphed at all. So I think again, good end, good reveal. And then end of the film, Yukio takes the company. Viper has been killed in the most awesome way. No, Yukio. Mariko takes the company, and Viper is killed in a pretty awesome way. Like, Yukio and her are fighting, and she wraps this cord around her neck. Yukio wraps a cord around Viper's neck, and she jumps on this weight, and Viper gets pulled up, and she's pretty much being hung. So I'm like, oh, she's gonna go to Bitoka and being hung, and there's like, and there's another weight just comes and clacks her on the head, and I was like, now that is a death scene. Like, you're like, okay, doing one thing, and it hits you outside with another. It was, well, like, nice. Very nice. And then the post-credit scene. Yes. Like, Wolverine, 2 years later, Wolverine's in an airport, and he sees a coin floating. He sees a Trask Industries commercial being shown. I need to wrap this up soon. And then metal coins and stuff start floating, and Magneto's behind him saying, Wolverine, there are forces far greater than you and I threats to our kind that we need to attend to. Why would I listen to you, says Wolverine. And then, as Magneto's talking, you notice in the background everything stops. No one's moving. Total silence. And then it says, I knew you would listen to me. And in rolls the Professor. Now, this was an amazing reveal, because X3, the Phoenix killed the Professor, and to have him reeling through, like, okay, this is going to be fantastic. I knew that they were going to will in the Professor for X-Men Days of Future Past, but I thought it was just going to be a flashbacky type thing rather than him actually being alive. So it was a great reveal, and I cannot wait to see we know what the two Sentinels look like. I want to see how the Trask goes, how that whole thing plays out. So this has been a kind of a long one, so I'm just going to sign it off right here and say thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate you watching this. If you could watch again, do so. If you could like, comment, do all that stuff, I would appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.